When I started learning piano, there was no YouTube or other learning platforms. My piano teacher would meet me once a week for 15 minutes and give me classical sheet music. I had to look at those black dots for hours to figure out how to play a song. Nowadays, there are much more fun ways to learn, and you almost can learn piano online. You could self-teach chords, scales, basic music theory, and download any sheet music to get started playing right away. That being said, if you want to progress to more complicated pieces, a teacher can be helpful. I have some tips for you to help you become a better piano player. First, make sure you have fixed time to practice piano. Generally, I suggest you have fixed time for eating, sleeping, studying, and working out. Consider practicing for 15 to 45 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Practicing 20 minutes every day is more effective than practicing 4 hours once a week. It takes time for muscles to develop and your brain to coordinate between your right and left hand. Most importantly, when you learn something new, the best way to remember is to sleep on it. That's because sleeping helps strengthen memory you have formed throughout the day. It also helps you to link new memories to earlier ones. You might even come up with a creative new idea while you slumber. The next tip is to have short-term, achievable goals. Goals like becoming a concert pianist or a well-known musician are long-term ambitions. You should have short-term and achievable objectives. For that purpose, set a particular goal for a realistic deadline. Learn music theory. Most people don't have problems sitting on an instrument practicing their favorite song, and that is definitely more fun. But knowledge of music theory allows you to improvise, play with chords, and know the relationship between harmonies, and what you're reading on a page make more sense. Most students start by learning how to read notes on a page, and there is nothing wrong with that. But it becomes a problem when you are dependent on notes and don't realize the harmony structure or chord progression. Learning scales and arpeggios are skills that will stay with you for life and your entire musical journey. Popular songs come and go, but what remains are your technical skills. You need to know how to immediately be comfortable playing in a key that has many sharps and flats. You should be able to maneuver your fingers easily around a different scale structure. If you are playing blues and stuff like that, make sure that you know your blues scales. If you intend to do anything serious with your music, you should work on your sight reading. If you are planning to be a session musician, you will be given a set of music score by a music director and you're expected to be able to play. Moreover, sight reading allows you to pick up pieces quicker, reducing your fear of approaching new songs. My next tip is to avoid poor techniques. The first poor technique is tension. Sometimes self-taught pianists looks like they're lifting weight or something. This tension in the arm is not only visible, but you can hear it. When you sit at piano, your arm should form a 90-degree angle at your elbow, and your hands and wrist and forearms should be level. Don't let your wrist dip lower than the key or curve higher than your hand. Keep a straight back with relaxed shoulders. Avoid slouching and rounding forward. Your arms should be able to extend to reach any keys on the piano. I see some keyboard players with years of experience with poor hand positioning and random fingering. It's essential to learn correct fingerings to build correct muscle memory. Next, practice with metronome. Metronome helps you keep time, so practice with a metronome regularly, and most importantly, practice slowly and mindfully. You can pick up skills from online resources, but there is a limit because teaching is an interactive process. You need a teacher who has experience to share knowledge with you and correct you if you are doing something wrong. When you are learning online, there is no one to tell you that you are playing something wrong, no one to tell you about your positioning or fingering. When you practice with wrong positioning and fingering for a long time, it will be challenging to undo it. A teacher also can hold you accountable and push you to practice more. My last tips are to practice right and left hand separately first, and also record yourself. If you are planning to practice for hours, make sure to practice for 25 minutes and rest for 5 minutes. It's called 25-5 rule. I recommend 25-5 rule for studying as well. And that sums up my tips. Take care, everyone.